So you might remember the boat was declared unsafe for human habitation while we were in Australia, and now we don't have a place to live. So we're sleeping on the floors of friends' houses, on air mattresses, sharing kitchens. Georgia is teasing me because I'm being lazy and not getting out of bed, if you can call it a bed. Our job, now we're back, is to try and sort the problems that the boat has had, get it to a point where it can be declared safe to live on again. My job for today is to pump out the excess water from the engine bay, which I can't do because we need to plug in the wet vac and I haven't got any power because I can't get the engine running. For some reason, whenever I turn the key, nothing's happening. I'm going to try a little trick that I was taught to jump start an engine with a 2p coin. If it works, then I've solved the problem and I know that I can just steal another boat if I want to, so that'd be good. Hey! It's 45 degrees today. The sun rises on this side of the house. Imagine that you're in one room and it's kind of like a typical summer, you know, breezy summer, and then you have Africa in another room. You can just walk in. Oh, it's Africa. Josh has moved out of this house and Michael has moved in. The only sign that anyone was ever here in Josh's old room is, of course, one lonely magic card. Sarah just came in the room and said, "My sister's been in a car accident. Fuck, is she alright?" And Sarah went, "Yeah. She had to get an ambo though." An ambo.
Explain what you're doing there.
I just toasted this slice of bread.
Yep.
It's a toast sandwich, so you have two slices of bread and a slice of toast in the middle. Put lots of butter on it. It's literally just come out, so it's all gooey. Look, it's already melting. Like.
You're offering me a bite of it.
Yeah, because it's like, look, it's soft on the outside but crunchy in the middle. And
Hey, you have a bite. I'll watch you.
Oh, it's so good.
Wow.
Empty water out the engine, and now I have to rewire the batteries because one of the batteries is flat. It turns out that that's why the engine wasn't turning on. There are two types of batteries on our boat, a starter battery and leisure batteries. They sort of, you can guess from the name what they do. The starter battery starts the engine and the leisure batteries are for our leisure, like they power the Wi-Fi and, you know, blenders and stuff. So the starter battery is the one that went flat. So the engineer that we brought to fix the engine has rewired the engine to the leisures. So the leisures will start it. And then while the engine's running, I then have to rewire it back to the starter with no rubber gloves, and there's a spider on my hand. It's a very tense day.
Finishing up my day one of my juice fast. This is my treat juice. It's delicious. It's got apples, oranges, and strawberries.
Oh, yes. The healthiest fridge in the world. Warming up. Ready for yoga.
Yeah, there is warming up.
So take a quick second to get settled in a nice, comfortable seat.
Our housemate Josh is really into this game called Go. We're sort of playing it over, I think it's taken us about 3 days so far. Just every now and then one of us will be in the kitchen and we'll put another stone down. It's sort of like chess, but more boring and less people know about it. It's good. I'm losing very badly. I don't know where else to turn. I've got a song stuck in my head. I've had it in my head for about a day. It goes boom, 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 and then there's like a really sick guitar riff that goes. Help me, please. Best strategy I've got right now is to Google songs like Albatross, because I feel like it sounds a bit like Albatross by Fleetwood Mac, or it would be in the same sort of, I don't know, same sort of mood. It's better than George's idea, which is to listen to all the artists we can name, every song by them, and just by process of elimination we'll get there. We stayed at Sarah's for New Year. We stayed there for 3 nights, over Christmas and New Year. And over those 3 days and nights, we watched Mamma Mia, Greatest Showman, Prince of Egypt, and Ella Enchanted. So that'll give you a flavour. We said that we were vegan. Basically what that means is, if you're having like a roast dinner, then I just won't have the meat. I'll just eat roast vegetables. That'll be fine, lovely. Obviously they don't have roast here because it's Australia, so they had like salad. But that's also fine. What she did instead though was basically went to the supermarket and bought the vegan aisle. We got there and there was a table with just a mountain. So for the morning of New Year's Day, she went, I bought some bread in case any of you want to have breakfast. And we went to the kitchen, and bear in mind there was about 5 or 6 of us in the house, and she'd bought 3 loaves of bread, 2 sliced loaves, and 1, you know, those pre-baked, I guess all bread is pre-baked. You know those fresh baked like bloomer loaves, like with the seeds on the top, and you slice them yourself. There was more bread than we could get through, and Sarah says, we should take one of these loaves home. My mum said it's fine because we're not going to eat it all today. What one do you want? She points us 2 types of bread, and I went, oh, I'll get the sliced one. And she goes, oh, cool. And she picks up the baked, not the sliced one. And I went, oh, alright, you know, fuck my opinion, whatever, just thought it was funny. And she looks down at this like bloomer loaf bread and goes, oh, I see the confusion. You said you wanted the sliced loaf. Yeah. She goes, I thought that meant the one that you have to slice. Who on earth has ever made that mistake? And what transpired was, she thought the fresh loaf that you have to slice yourself, that's, you know, freshly baked, really nice quality, she just assumed that if I was given the choice, I'd pick that one. So she said, do you have a preference between these two? I said, yeah, I do, the sliced loaf. And she just made that fit what she thought my preference would be. So, like, who needs to listen to anyone anymore? Anyway, I prefer the sliced one because it's sliced. There's a reason sliced bread is the benchmark. It's the best thing since... And nothing is better than that. Oh, this looks nice. Look at this that she's done. Little yoga mats. We were invited this morning to do yoga on the beach at 9 AM. I went on the Facebook page for the woman who was organising it, and she said, I feel I am being called to provide a free yoga service on the beach on Saturday morning. Let's all just breathe and feel each other with love. And we didn't go because it seemed really wanky. I just want to chill and do yoga. I don't want to make friends. Do you know what I mean?
So we're doing it at home.
So we're doing it at home, where only people I love are here.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to 30 Days of Yoga with Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
I'm Adrian, and I'm super excited. It's day 1, y'all. Let's get started.
That's fine, that's in the river now. Should be able to swim.
If you get your death live on camera, it'll be the most viewed video ever.
It won't be. But thanks though. I think Avengers trailers will still get more. You're just convinced I'm gonna die. Even though we've both done this before, the only difference is the engine hasn't been running. You just have to make sure that the metal of the spanner doesn't touch any of the metal around the batteries, because it will create a spark. So just don't do that, it'll be fine. Meanwhile, Georgia's job is to clear up a little bit of mould that's inside the boat that's built up over our time away. So she's all ready to do that. Well protected against mould.
Just need some gloves on.
Yeah,
There you go.
of course. Ready?
I love you.
I love you too, Squish. Gonna fire the engine up? I've got rubber insulated shoes on, I'll be fine. Just turn it, just turn it. Smooth! Georgia just saw a sign. We walked past an ice cream place and it said, order your Christmas ice cream cake now. Is the novelty of that ever going to wear off? Santa's going to be burning up and eating his big bread suit. It's all like thick and woolly. Ah, look, Squish. All the classic tea flavours. English breakfast, Australian afternoon, Russian caravan. All the greats.
What the fuck is Russian caravan flavour? Sounds horrible.
Georgia and I have been together for 2.5 years. That is 2 New Year's days, and yet we've never spent New Year's together because both of those we have spent on a meditation retreat. It feels like the perfect time to go to a meditation retreat because, you know, it's a time of endings and beginnings and reflections and resolutions. But after 2 of those, pretty much as soon as we came back from the second one, we were like, let's do a normal New Year and have, you know, midnight countdown and a party and being able to talk and do anything else. Sarah's invited her friend Michael to New Year, and he has a convertible, so we are going to drive to their place, like a 2-hour drive in a convertible in like 35-degree heat, which in American temperature is, I don't know, 190, I don't know, whatever. It's gonna be boss. Let's go.
You having a nice time, mate? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh my god, it's 11:45. There's a whole big family here, loads of kids. 2 of the kids just came up to us and said, we're doing a singing competition. Would you like to be in the singing competition? And I said, no, I tell you what, I will be the audience. You have to have an audience for the singers. And I went, what's the prize? And they said, $5. And I was like, shit, Georgie, you've got to do this. I see him walking around to everyone in the party going, do you want to be in the singing competition? And then a few minutes later, they come back to us and they go, the singing competition's starting now. And then no one really moves or does anything because they're just kids and like they have no authority. And then after about 5 minutes, the kid comes back and goes, everyone who's in the singing competition, please come this way. And everyone who's not in the singing competition, please come and sit in the audience. They've got us now because that means we have to be involved no matter what. And then another 5 minutes pass and the kid comes back and goes, you're missing the singing competition. That doesn't work as an adult. I can't just walk into an office and go, there's a new job opening today, I believe, for me. Georgia said she'd always wanted to do that. Just walk into a cafe and go, I'm here for the trial shift, and just see what happens. So anyway, I go over to the other side of the room, and like half the party is over there all looking at each other going, I guess there's a singing competition. I don't know, like why? Like, they did it. It worked. And the singing competition was just this kid, Harry, like going full Janis Joplin into the microphone. He was singing It Must Have Been Love, but it's over now. And he did it like he'd like been divorced for the 3rd time. Like he was about 8 years old and he was wailing into the microphone with so much pathos. It was like seeing an installation at an art gallery or something. I was like, man, I really feel this. I've been there. And then he didn't even win the competition. The people who won were, and I think his aunt, who sung Walking on Sunshine, but it went on so long that halfway through she just started singing a different song, a Christmas song, and then went back to Walking on Sunshine again out of boredom. And I think she won because she was a maverick. Anyway, this is my New Year. 12:05.
My voice hurts so much.
They're lucky we stayed up until midnight. It was a struggle, to be honest. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You're taking your pants off. I'm still filming.
Yeah.
This is going on the internet.
Don't put that in.
I've had some good New Year's. I spent one in Reykjavik in Iceland watching fireworks go up over the whole town. The sky is exploding! Reykjavik has very lax firework laws at New Year, so all the locals light up their own fireworks from their back gardens at the same time. Spent one in Disneyland Paris, spent one in New York, one in Thailand, just on my own on a beach. And now I'm in Australia here doing this. New Year's an interesting time because it doesn't take any effort to achieve. All you have to do is wait for time to pass. There's no way that you can not have New Year happen unless you die beforehand. But despite the fact that literally all you do is live up to it, it still feels like an achievement that you have to climb over and do something to accomplish. We all had this comradeship that we were doing this thing together, but the thing that we were doing together was something that we could easily just not do and it would still happen. And I think that's an important thing to remember because life can be like that sometimes. If you don't live it, it does still just tick over, but suddenly months will pass and you realise you haven't done anything. So I'm all in favour of having one night a year where you feel like you're achieving something, even if the achievement is the something itself. As of about 30 seconds ago, the boat was declared safe. It's the first day of spring.
It's coming back from the dark.
We are immediately going to turn the engine on and move and get some water, and I can email the Canal Trust and say, we've moved, finally.
It's a good day.
Yeah, nice.
It's been a good day.
Oh, you put the bunting back up.
First day back on the boat. Having a picnic in the clean room.
It's sort of, which is the clean room? This is the clean room.
This is the clean room.
Right.
And over there is the dirty room where you wear your hazmat suit.
What is dirty about it?
Everything is mouldy.
Everything is mouldy.
Crisp sandwiches and Tropicana.
Lovely. Lovely. And the sofa cushioning is
2 blankets.
just a blanket.
Layered on top of each other.
Wonderful.
Because that was also mouldy. Now it is gone.
Just like our dreams.
Just like our dreams. It's fine. We're going to snuggle in front of the fire now. Have a lovely evening, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.